In today's Clash Royale video, we will take a look at the games which brought my good old friend Carl the Legend top of the world in a recent double elixir tournament. We're looking at the games against the hardest matchups in Clash Royale. Also, he's showing the best lava on deck right now in Clash Royale. Might be also the best deck right now in general in Clash Royale. If you guys don't want to miss any type of videos like that in the future, make sure to subscribe and also make sure to give a fat thumbs up on the video. If you guys want to see more of this pro analysis from the best players in the world, reaching #1 in the world at the end of the global tournaments, at the end of the later seasons. Also, make sure to check out Carl's YouTube channel. Here's also a YouTube channel where he shows the best games of best seasons in the YouTube channel. So make sure to subscribe to him. Also, make sure if you guys want to support my content, enjoy the content, to use creator code Mortar in the shop. And I would say it's now jump to games, and I'm gonna show you how Carl reached #1 in the world with different type of lava hound decks. So Carl was so nice showing me different type of matchups against the best players in the world at the end of the double tournament, of the royal tournament. For sure it was double X time, so the playstyle is a bit different, but it's not like you cannot really take any tips out of that. You can still take a ton of tips about it also in the normal ladder gameplay, and this matchup is one of the worst matchups you can face. Also what Cole says, the opponent has Fireball against Scale Rings, Arrows against Lava. He has Skelly King, which is really annoying. And it's a Graveyard. He doesn't really have too much against Graveyard Call in this situation. So this is honestly a matchup where I would say, okay, the opponent for sure has the matchup advantage. So just the Lava comes down opposite lane here. Zappy split here from an opponent. This is like the first huge mistake from an opponent, just going in here opposite lane. He just drops a really high tombstone, really well placed tombstone. Now he goes in opposite lane with the Graveyard. The Skelly King Scale Dragons are coming down. Instead of fireballing the Scale Dragons, he decides to go in for the Inferno Dragon. And for sure, the damage on the right side is significant. Also, he doesn't get a tower, right? So it's going to be like kind of a tower trade. This is what Carl really does when the opponent drops out the Inferno Dragon. And this is what most players are going to do when you don't know the deck, or they're gonna think like, okay, I'm just gonna sack my Inferno Dragon, I'm just go opposite lane. Also, really important what Carl does is when he sees the opponent is gonna drop the Inferno Dragon, a really good like tank killer in on the other side, he is not dropping, by the way, really great Skeleton Dragons, pushing out the balloon on top of from the tombstone array. Is that Carl doesn't place lava on the back. He places a bit in front of the tower wide that the opponent is not able to cycle back to another lava. So even if you would say, to another lava on count like an Inferno Dragon, even if you would say lava is more of the easier decks to play in Clash Royale, yes, I totally agree. There are still plays which Carl is doing which nobody else is doing. So yes, you could consider it a really easy low cap skill deck, but still there is like a reason why Carl has more success than all the other players with this type of lava hound deck, and he's for sure the best lava loon Fireball Mighty Miner, or like Fireball Lava Loon Mighty Miner player right now Clash Royale. With this deck, nobody's better than him. It's kind of like the old Watchroom deck, but sometimes like switching out minions, Skelly Dragons, Barbs, and so on. So he just drops the Mighty Miner, always pretty aggressive here, just to get some chip damage also. But Tombstone is really great. So Carl's just gonna Fireball. He knows the opponent doesn't have Fireball and Cycle, and at 1-1 the situation isn't too bad. So right now, Carl is just gonna set up a Megamine here. He needs to set up another tombstone, but the situation as it seems is not too good right now. How the heck is Carl supposed to get damage? And also the skeletons are chipping on top of the King Tower, so I wouldn't say the situation is good, but Carl still knows exactly what he does. He's not gonna panic. He's placed a lava in front of the Megamine just to support it, and the opponent is just gonna drop the Inferno Dragon in the back. So Carl's just gonna drop the Loon in this spot. Now the opponent is going in here really hard. So the opponent needs to go in for something on top of the Scale Rings, but he cannot. So the Scale Rings are actually splashing that away. The zap from Carl wasn't enough. Like, how the heck is Carl still winning this? Like, how the heck does he have a chance? Like, it just seems impossible, right? So Fireball's coming down here. Right now you guys can see the Mighty Miner goes on top of the tower. Really stupid. Now the perfect Mighty Miner. This is exactly what I was talking about. The Mighty Miner is one of the best win conditions right now in this deck, in this station at 1-1. And yeah, Carl is coming back in just one. Scale Rings are coming now down on top of the Inferno Dragon and the Balloon at the bridge, just to be aggressive, just to apply the aggression we need. Zappies are coming down. Opponent is defending that really nicely. So once again, when the Zappies are out, he's gonna go in for the Mighty Miner. So the opponent needs to catch that, and it's really hard. It's really hard to catch it, especially when Carl, what he does is switching up the positioning of the Mighty Miner ability. Once he went like really early, then the Valkyrie would have catched it, but this time he waited a bit more to go in for a new Mighty Miner spot. Opponent didn't catch it. No Zappies in Cycle, no Reset in Cycle. GG's well played. This is how we beat one of the hardest matchups with Lava against the best player in the world. This is actually game for #1 in the world here against Mugi. So I don't know actually if this is Mugi. I don't really think so. So just like, let's take a look if this is really Mugi. I don't really think it's Mugi, right? It's... Yeah, I think this is like a German guy. I don't really think it's Mugi on that account because there's like also a German guy who's called Melody. I think you guys know him. He's like really like an upcoming German pro player, and he was always using his deck, and I really think it's him. So he also has an account called Mugi. So he just goes in for the morph directly at the bridge. Call is going for the tombstone disposition. Why? Because this tombstone placement is pretty solid against the Mortar. So Mega Man coming down. This matchup should be really fine for Karl, but also a matchup where people of you could struggle. Like, how are you able to kill the Mortar without having like the best ER defenses? So what Melody is doing pretty well right now is going in for the queen on top of the Skelly, on top of the Skelly, on top of the queen here. Just gonna use the ability. Maybe the Fire Spirit was a bit too much here, but he's just gonna use his ability on the other side. He's just gonna go for Skeletons now. Karl is just gonna instantly gonna zap them and just goes in for this. Just needs to go in also a Fire Spirit, and now a Valkyrie is coming down. So honestly, I thought Karl would get like the bigger damage advantage. He still has the damage advantage, yes, with 60 HP, but look at the elixir advantage. He has a tombstone on the map, he has a lava on the map, and he still is up by 1. Mega Man just so annoying to defend because what's he supposed to do? I mean, he's gonna go for a tower trade now, but that's not really what he wants to see. So he's just gonna go in for a log here on top of the tombstone. I'm just gonna go in here with the queen. Now I'm just gonna use this. Really great ability timing. This is really what he does well. He knows like how to take damage, which tubes he should let go, and he knows which tubes you need to defend with Lava Loom, because this is the most important thing about beatdown. It's not about really outplaying your opponents, it's just about how like let damage go, get the positive elixir trace, and this is exactly what Karl does really well. And this is like an easy win, an easy, fantastic gameplay from Karl. Looks easy, but his decision making at this point was absolutely perfect. This is one of the matchups which looked way more old school. If you're like an OG Clash Royale watcher, if you already watched like CWA also in 2016, 2017, when 3 Musketeers were one of the best cards in Clash Royale, this was always a matchup which people were really looking forward, especially when Botcham Fan was in his prime. And this is a different 3 Musketeer for sure. Right now there's Mirror, but still deck where I could at least imagine that some people would really like worry, like how you beat 3 Musketeers Mirror. Are you gonna fireball the pump or not? This is what Karl really likes to do. He goes in for the lava and Skelly drinks. This is his main push against it, and fireball zaps immediately the 3 Musketeers. So not going for a fireball on the pump, going for a lava on the back, because back then it was like fireball on pump. It's a similar, it's an even elixir trade. Right now it's a -1 elixir trade. So opponent's just gonna mirror that. And what Karl does, especially against any type of 3 Musketeer deck, so he's gonna fireball the 3 Musketeers. If the opponent doesn't, if you don't have the fireball cycle and you use it on something else, you always want to go for defensive lava. And this is what Karl does. So this was actually perfect defense. And look at this, it's so clean. It's so clean with such a huge elixir advantage. Karl is still putting in the work and gets a clean defense going. And this is important because if you do like, right now it looks like, okay, the opponent cannot break through, right? This is how it looks right now. But I can tell you guys, if Karl would have done a small mistake, he would have lost the tower. He would have lost the tower. Look at this, the opponent has a big elixir advantage. So if your opponent has a big elixir advantage, you need to defend perfect. And this is what Karl did in this matchup. He just goes in for another lava, I think he goes in for Balloon now on top of the pump. Smart play. Also opponent drops the Golden Knight here and goes in with a zap, but still the pump will die, and this is what Karl really likes. So also the mirror is out of cycles. So he's just gonna go in for another lava on here, most likely, or he's just gonna go for a pump. So I think Karl is just gonna go for a lava at the bridge, I guess, in front of the Mega Man. Or is he gonna go for a tombstone? No, he's going for the lava on top of the pump. Okay, that's actually a pretty interesting lava, okay? So just trying to get some chipped on top of the pump. Okay, opponent is just gonna go for the Musketeers. He's just gonna go Fireball Zap, gets 3 out of the 4. 2 level 30 Musketeers and 1 level 11 Musketeer from the old Musketeer. So I think he's just gonna go Scale Drakes in the back, and now it's really about going for your Tombstone. Tombstone is your main key defense against this deck. So he's just gonna go Zap here. He needs to get a Fireball, and as you guys can see, he's down so much. He gets 2. He gets 2 of them, but look at this. This is so much to deal with. He goes in for Scale Ds like this. The good thing is he actually can defend this, so he needs to go in for a Tombstone here. He waits actually because he knows the opponent is going to drop his E-buffs really soon. Good Mega Minion timing here. Zap is coming down, but the Mighty Miner is going to come in last second here. And actually with a Zap, it should be fine. GG's well played. I don't know how Karl won this game, but he actually beat the opponent. That was perfection. Actually, in this game, Karl switched 1 card to have the Flying Machine, or like has the Flying Machine in this type of variation this time. Faces the Nate deck. I don't really think it's Nate, at least I don't think so. I think this is someone out of his clan. So, yeah. She just drops the Dark to the bridge. Call just goes in for a little tombstone. And I mean, the most passionate thing about Call is using like the tombstone like as he's the best tombstone player by far, in my opinion. Like, there's no way that tombstone player than him. He exactly knows what to do, which is absolutely crazy to see. So, Inferno Tower and Rocket are out. Inferno Tower and Rocket are out. Those are the most best defense you can have. And look at this. Carl actually has also a huge elixir advantage. So the balloon actually just gets one shot. But the Mega Minion, maybe the Mega Minion should have played and just Lava in the back now. Because I don't really think he's going for a Lava in the bridge. Because it wouldn't make sense. Because Inferno Tower would get too much value. So I think Carl is just gonna, the opponent's just gonna go for a Miner. For sure what Carl really wants to do in this matchup is getting a King Tower activation against the Elector Spirit, and always sets up the Tombstone in the back. This is a really important play you need to do in this matchup, is going for your Tombstones in the back. It seems pretty simple. Why you want to do it? Yeah, because the opponent cannot really kill. He doesn't have a poison, he doesn't want to rocket this, so Tombstone in the back is actually against Miner the best play you could do. So the Flying Machine gets so much value in the matchup. Needs to commit so much. So actually the Miner is coming down, Miner is going down in the back. For sure no catch up here by playing with the Mega Minion here just to absorb some damage and being in a fine positioning. So Flying Machine kills the Dark Prince, is actually great. Zap is coming down, but like look at this, the Firewall Zap is coming down, but yeah, it actually kills the Inferno. That's what the opponent didn't expect. So he needs to drop so much elixir on defense. The Flying Machine actually locks on. He goes in for an E-Spirit, but look at this. This is basically over right now. Look at the elixir advantage the opponent has. They're even. And Carl is allowed on the map. So this is like basically it. This is how you want to play it against this type of decks. Yeah, for sure the Flying Machine is really helpful in the matchup. But also he goes in for a balloon in front. That was not a balloon on accident. It was a balloon on purpose. Just to kill the Inferno Tower sooner. To get the Lava on chip. Carl really relies on some matchups against Inferno Tower most of the time about Lava on chipping. Just get chipper damage on tower. Just get Lava on the tower. This seems like a really play which is like really, I don't know. I don't really know the right word for that, but really devastating. Just like giving up right on top, like just wasting your balloon. But this is actually key play because Lava, as you guys can see here, actually puts in the work, puts in the damage, like 50 damage around per hit. If you have like a full HP Lava and your opponent doesn't have a building and wants to go in, like the Lava is gonna get a tower alone, like 200, 300, 400, 1k, 1.5k damage. So this is like how Carl got number 1 in the world. I need to tell you guys, I didn't watch the replays before. It was actually pretty surprising how good he played. And I got like some Lava on tips, even after playing the game for 6 years and competitive for almost like more than 4 years against the best players in the world, on top of the world. I still got some tips out there. Let me know in the comment section if you guys want to see that more often, and let me know in the comment section which pro you guys want to see next on the channel, which gameplay you guys want to see. I think this is like a really fresh thing coming to the channel, just like seeing also other top players playing their main deck, which are like the best with. So thank you so much for all the support. Let me know in the comment section. I would say I'm out. Thanks for watching, and make sure to also check out Call the Legends YouTube channel. Peace out.